let's get started with kind of knowing a little bit more about yourself.
Okay, so name's Anthony, born and bred in southwest London, a little place called Collier's Wood. Lived there all my life. Don't know where to start. So, me and my brother, mum, dad, Caribbean background. So
Yeah.
strict, but not strict. But I knew what I could get
You
away
knew
with
where
and
the
what I
line
couldn't
was.
get away with. So yeah, it was different. I think what makes my family unique was that what I thought was like a family home wasn't quite a family home, and it took seeing other people's family open my eyes. I was like, oh, so
How do you
that's
mean?
so like again. So my parents weren't married, and they didn't show affection. They didn't really communicate that much. So yeah, they did hardly ever talk. So when I went out around to a close friend's house, oh, they'd say, oh, evening, morning, greet each other, a little kiss on the cheek. Oh, I've made you this. I was like, is that normal or is what I have normal? So it was a bit, yeah, growing up, it was crazy. And then obviously watching TV, you seeing families
Yeah.
together, having food, like even having dinners together. I was like, wait a minute, like, why is it? I mean, even holidays, like even so. Oh, if there's always a family holiday, and I'm like, no, I go on holiday either with my dad or with my mum, never together. So is my life the normal, or is that life not? So yeah. So growing up, yeah, it was quite difficult, and especially having an older brother. It was tough. It was tough because again, from early, I knew my brother was the smarter one. My brother was the better looking one. He was the athlete of it, and I was just like the younger brother, the skinny brother, the all known as the maybe the troublemaker as well. I was like, okay, so I'm hearing all good things about him, but I'm getting negative stuff. So in the end, I just started to kind of
Feed
act
into
negative.
that.
Yeah, act negative because I was getting attention from being negative. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna hold on to that and run with it because I'm not hearing anything nice. So yeah, growing up was a few battles with me and my brother. Like he was getting all the limelight and I wouldn't. And it's not just mum and dad. It was like aunties, uncles, grandparents as well. So it's from every direction. And even
Yeah.
then it ran down to school as well. I was like, when am I gonna get a break? So it's always so. Obviously he's older than me, so I would go to his school and it was like, oh, that's his younger brother, and it's always, oh, you're young. I was like, no, I'm
Your own
Anthony.
person.
Yeah, so yeah, man, growing up it was not not all bad because again I've got a close circle of friends that they're my family, man. Like not many people grew up with like close friends. So my friendship, we've known each other for like 30 plus years from toddler to like adult now. So yeah, so I'm very fortunate to have some close friends. So when I was in need, they were there. So yeah, I'm very fortunate with that. So I love them to bits. Yeah, I don't know what else. Yeah,
Personality wise, so if you take everything that you said about yourself and you
yeah.
could pretty much define your character in 3 words, what would you say about yourself?
Passionate, very passionate about pretty much anything I do. Um, Very caring, and I'm very random. Like I'm very random. Like again, I'm one of those people late at night. Oh yeah, let's go for a drive or let's go out. So I'm yeah very random. I'll say very random stuff at times. Like even from a young age. Well, not from a young age, but I used to swear a lot. Then even there was this one particular time, my phone recorded me having a conversation, and I heard myself, and it was all like effing. Da, 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 da. I was like, that's what I sound like. And yeah, from that day, I don't swear. Like I only swear like if I'm really angry. But other than that, I do not swear. So I'd come up with other stuff like, my favorite phrase is wow. So I use wow a lot. I use biscuits or bananas, like other stuff. I just
You
don't swear.
replace the swear words with
Yeah,
other
I
words.
just I just don't swear. I just don't like it, man. But yeah, I say yeah, definitely passionate, caring, and random. Yeah, and if I could sneak another word in, observant. I'm very observant. Like I'm quiet, but I'm observant and very refined. So when I talk, but I don't mind like taking back and just observing.
The surroundings.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. So if we touch on passionate first.
Yeah.
You said you're passionate about the things that you do.
Yeah, I'd definitely say music and drama. I didn't know again at school, like music. I've always like, I've loved music. Like young dad used to have little like parties at the house, so always loved music. But drama came year 9. My drama teacher just told my mum that I was good at drama, I should take for GCSE because everything else negative. Oh, he's not doing well. He's chatterbox. He's just clown. Everything else was negative. And one thing that drew me, teacher said drama. I was like, oh, so a theatre production came around and said, oh, does anybody want to do some acting over the summer? I was like, back in my head, I was like, yeah. But to my friends, I was like, no, man, that's dumb. So I remember this evening, like it was yesterday. So it was a Friday night. All my lot was like, oh, what are we gonna do? So we chilled at the park until around 6, 7. It started to get a bit dark, and then it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna go Wimbledon. I was like, cool, let's go Wimbledon. But it was the era of happy slap days.
Ooh, okay.
So just walking. Then one of my friends just saw a guy at the bus stop and just slapped him. And everyone ran away. I was like, oh, okay, cool. But then one of my other friends took it too far. So saw a guy at the bus stop, ran, kicked him down. The guy fell on the floor. Everybody ran away, and I just stood there. I was like, oh my days, I can't believe look what he just did, but what we just did. So yeah, they all ran one way, and I just kind of went home, and I was like, just think to myself, I'm not that guy. That's not me. So following week, I went to where they was having an audition. Well, thought they were having an audition, so I went there. It's like, oh, is it too late to audition? It's like, yeah, auditions finished already. I was like, oh, okay. So they said, oh, but you can see what you got. So I read the script, and they said I could be an understudy for one of the characters. I was like, oh, okay. I just knew I had to focus on something because I didn't want to be out on the street with I just didn't want it. Yeah. So kept going to rehearsals, and one of the characters, I remember his character's called Sly. That actual character, he got another calling for another show, for actual on TV. So I became the role. I was like, okay, cool. So became the role, became just doing it week after week after week after week after week. And then gradually I got told, oh yeah, we're going to be performing in Wimbledon Theatre. I was like, whoa. I thought it was typography, the small kids one. They said, no, Wimbledon Theatre. I was like, okay, cool, one night, I don't mind. Like, if I make a fool of myself, it's fine. They said, we're running it for 3 nights. I was like, what?
It got real fast.
Yeah. I was like, okay, cool. So I invited everyone, mum, dad, brother, close friends. I remember there's one girl I liked at the time, invited her. So first performance now, getting jittery. I'm not gonna lie, smashed it. It was like, I don't know how many people were there, but yeah, we were rammed. I just looked up, saw people up there, people down there. I was like, oh gosh. So yeah, first night, smashed it. For me, it was the second night. Smashed it, getting changed to go home. A little boy and his mum knocked on a changing room and said, oh no, we want to speak to the Sly character. I was like, okay, cool, come on. I was like, oh, how can I help you? He's like, oh, my son wants to say something to you. I was like, okay, cool. He said, oh, I really, really loved your character. Can I have your autograph? My heart melted. I was like, oh, what, me? Like, I wasn't the main character, but you want my, he's like, yeah, you're really, really good. I didn't even have a signature at the time, so I was like, okay, cool. He's like, oh yeah, I want to come see you tomorrow as well. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Then I went outside, and the girl I liked came to me. It's like, oh yeah, what are you doing afterwards? I was like, oh, I can't even come out because I've got a next show tomorrow. So she goes, oh, okay, cool. After show tomorrow, call me. I was like, okay, cool. So the last night, again, I thought my dad was gonna come. Dad was a no-show. My brother there. My brother was at university, but my mum was there. Yeah, she made it worth it. I was like, okay, cool.
Did your mum and dad come to the first show or second show?
No. I'm gonna touch on that a little bit later as well. So yeah, dad didn't come. Mum came. And I was like, cool. Performance done now. 3 nights done. I was like, yeah, mum, this is what I want to do for life. Like, I want to be an actor. She goes, oh, okay. Well, you might as well go to college, do that stuff. So, results day came. Open my envelope, looking at the grades. 1 GCSE. All the rest, E's, F's, G's. The 1 GCSE was drama. I was like, what am I gonna do? So yeah, I didn't go home until like late night, where I knew everyone was kind of winding down. So I got home, nobody asked about the grades. I was like, cool. I had to go through clearance. I had to go late to a college. I went to Nescott. I had to do GMVQ course. I was like, cool. So I done that. I got a pass out of there, but then I realized, yeah, this place ain't for me. But then I done
Was the GMVQ acting related as well?
Yep. So it was performing arts. So it was acting, dance, and singing. I can't sing, dance. I can dance, but yeah, the singing, that was a bit not for me. So past that, and they said, oh yeah, you can go on the next course up. I was like, I don't know. So then another theatre company got in contact with me and said, oh, we're doing another production. Would you like to be involved in it? So I was like, cool. And so this ran again over another summer, a little bit older now. So I think I was the oldest. I was 17. Everybody else was like either 15, 16 and a bit younger. So we actually did it here upstairs. So we performed for 6 weeks. So it was, they wanted to make it about the streets, and they wanted to make it about summer. So they just asked us questions like, what do you do in the summer? So we just said chilled or trouble. So we done a lot of improvisation, and from that, the actual people wrote a script on it. But what was so, I think for me, amazing about the performance was they used outside stuff. So we had a bin, but we used the bin for loads of stuff. We used the bin for sofa, bed. Like, we had to use our imagination. Like, so it was just random, like most people say rubbish or junk, but we used it in our performance, and it was just, yeah, it was amazing. So again, I got told the information wrong. So I thought we was just performing once again. No, so this time we performing at Wimbledon Polka Theatre, but we was gonna take the actual play around local schools in Merton. I was like, what? What do you mean? They're like, yeah, we're going to different schools, secondary schools and primary schools. I was like, whew, okay, cool. So did that, great success. It was just, for me, it was different and it felt personal, because I even got to meet the local mayor. She came, took a picture of her, and like my face was in the papers as well. And I just, yeah, my mum kept all the cutouts, like big old folded, like all the cutouts are different. I was like, okay, cool. So I was like, yeah, mum, this is what I want to do. She's like, well, you still kind of have to be in education. So I was like, oh, but the performance ran over, so it ran into like October. I'm trying to find a college, trying to go, like I went to Richmond, I went back to Nescott, I went John Russell, I went everywhere to go get into a course at college. There was no way. I was like, my friend said, oh yeah, try Kingston. I was like, all right, cool. So I went to IT, nope. Went to business, nope. Went to PE, they're like, no, it's too late. I was like, I might as well try performance. I might as well. So I went upstairs, 6th floor, Kingston, spoke to them. I was like, oh, is there any places for drama? They was like, oh, why you only applying now? I was like, oh, I was touring with a local theatre group. They was like, oh, what theatre group? I was like, oh, Carpool Citizens. They're like, oh yeah, we've heard of them. I was like, oh, okay, cool. They was like, oh, what did you do last year? I was like, oh, I went to Nescott. It's like, oh, what grades did you get? So I got this grade. It's like, okay, well, to get in, you kind of need to do a monologue. Like, I need to do a piece. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Done a little piece. And it was like, you know what? Yeah, you can come and you start this day. I was like, perfect. So went Kingston College now. So 17 going into 18. So turned 18. There was a boy I knew from my secondary school, Rains Park, who's actually was in my brother's year, and he's in the same course. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, you know my brother, yes. So we matured. But as he's older, he knew a place called the Works nightclub on the Mondays. It's students' night. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, I'll come. Might as well. Because I've been raving since I was like 16. I've been raving, but it kind of slowed down. But then he said, let's go. I was like, cool. Introduced me to the Works. That was it. I was always there. Monday nights, I was there. Then, yeah, raving. That was me. That was my outlet. So when people say, oh, I'm a raver, I can happily say, no. I was the raver. I done Monday to Sunday. Like, I did that. So Monday.
What was it about raving that done it for you?
I think that was like my kind of exercise, and obviously I love music, and it was just for me that was my exercise, and that was my release. So I just loved raving, and that was just me. I just loved the atmosphere. Well, back then, the atmosphere wasn't that great because people used to still smoke in the clubs. So it was like, oh, I used to come home smelling my smoke. I was like, but then eventually they stopped that. So I just loved the atmosphere, just people coming into one place knowing for the same reason, dance, chill, have fun, a little bit of drink, and so raving was me. I raved for a long time. So done that, but because I went raving so many times, my grades were hit and miss. So in the second year, I had to just kind of focus down. So I passed college now, and next theatre company now. This one was the one. So same theatre company, but it was a competition. So again, we've done the same thing. We toured it around local schools in Merton. Last performance was at the Polga Theatre, but there was other companies doing the same thing in different boroughs. And they said the borough that wins, they get to perform at the Old Vic. So I was like, okay, cool. So the character I played was nowhere near me. Like, I had to actually indulge into this character. So the person he was a loner, and he always used to ask questions like, you shouldn't be doing that, why shouldn't I be doing that? Like, most of the things he was just, he was very loner and asked questions, and he always had his hand in his pockets. And me, as you could tell, I talk with my hands, so it was so hard. So I always had to have my hands in my pockets. Anything I do, I had my hands in my pockets, and that even when poured over to when I used to at work as well, I had always hands in my pockets. So done the performance, then I got a letter to say, congratulations, you're one of the boroughs that won, so you get to perform at the Old Vic. I was like, wow, I've heard about the Old Vic, like it's an amazing place. So finished college, got all right grades. Then on my 19th birthday, it was on a Saturday, I got to perform at the Old Vic, and like, I thought Wimbledon Theatre was big and beautiful, but the Old Vic, that's when I knew.
The Old Vic's in Waterloo, right?
Waterloo, yeah. I was like, Like, I even made a little lyric about it. So performed.
A lot of big names performed there as well.
Yeah, so I performed it. Curtains went down. I still heard the claps, and I heard encore. I was buzzing. So what killed my buzz was, again, I mentioned it to my birthday. Went home. Nobody mentioned the play. No one mentioned it was my birthday. So I was like, cool. Anyway, fast forwards, people are getting ready for university. So I said, Mum, I'm not going to university. I'm chasing my drama. Like, I want to be an actor. I'm chasing that. My mum's words were, if you're living under this house, you better take yourself to university. I was like, what? She goes, yeah, you need to go find yourself for university. I was like, okay, cool. So again, I went through clearing. The only university that would take me was South Bank. So I was like, okay, cool. So I went to South Bank, but I'm still raving. But going to university was a whole different experience. So again, there was loads of different unis. Just began to drive, so I was out.
freshers.
I was everywhere, like Leeds, Newcastle, Brunel, Oxford. I was everywhere to the grade. So I failed my first year at uni, but my mum paid for my first year at uni. So I was like, okay, cool. It's fine, mum, I got you. I'll take your student loan, repeat the year. I got you, mum. But through the repeating it, I realized, yeah, this course wasn't for me. And I just,
What was you studying?
again, drama. But it was, yeah, just, and one of my tutor, like, he was black. So I thought, oh yeah, me and you. But yeah, everything I was doing, he was just not happy with it. Like, oh no, I know you could do better. Like, everything I was doing was just negative. I was like,
Do you reckon that was to push you, or was he just genuinely a
he was just a very negative guy, especially towards, I say, the black people. Like, he's very negative. So I was like, you know what? Cool, I'm not wasting another year here. So I finished that year and I went to Greenwich. So I went to Greenwich and they said, oh, unfortunately, you have to start the year again. I was like, cool, I just want to get out of South Bank. So I went to Greenwich and my first assignment, my tutor said, oh, do you have a learning difficulties? I was like, no, I just, again, I just thought I was stupid, dumb. That's what I thought. They said, no, we think you got dyslexia. I was like, me? Really? It's like, yeah. So they asked me to take a little test at the main campus because my campus was in Woolwich. The main campus was in Greenwich. I went down to Greenwich, sat in a room, some room like this. They said, okay, we're gonna do some activities with you. I was like, okay, that's fine. They said, oh, there's a clock on the wall. It's like, oh, can you tell me what time it is? I was like, I actually can't. It's like, okay, that's fine. But I always had a digital watch. So I said, oh, what time is it? So I sold her. It's like, okay, cool. It's like, oh, can you read for me? I was like, yeah, that's fine. While I was reading, do what I normally do, I used to skip lines or certain words were back to front. It's like, oh no, hey, that's enough. They said, oh yeah, can you write something for me? I was like, oh, like my handwriting like is a mess. Like everything I do is iPad or laptop. Like my handwriting is a mess. It's like, oh no, can you just write something? Just write me your address. So I wrote that, and within like 5 minutes, it's like, yeah, you've got dyslexia. I was like, wow, okay. Like it opened my mind. I was like, all that time at secondary school, like what I was messing up, like it all hit me because I remember in class we had to read, and the closer it got to me is the more I joked around, so I got kicked out or so I wouldn't have to read. I was like, oh my days, this all makes sense. Like even when it came to GCSEs, I would revise, try to set the paper now, everything gone blank. I was like, makes sense. So they said, oh, if you want an actual diagnosis, you'd have to go to a hospital and get diagnosed, but there's only certain hospitals that actually diagnose. I was like, you know what? I don't need it. I don't need the actual diagnosis. As long as I know what I've got,
Yeah.
I know what to do. And so that was...
Having that understanding, that realization, how does that feel at the time?
At the time, it made me feel amazing because I'd done research about it of, oh, what you have to do, what you got to do and stuff like that. And it made sense. So when I did an essay, I'd read it again and then get someone else to read it and then hand it in. Before I used to just write it, hand it in, then get my paper back and it's a low grade. I'm like, what? So it was, yeah, it opened my eyes and I held on to that and that stayed with me throughout especially my career, that stayed with me. So
at the time, did you share that with anyone else that was close to you? Did you share it with your parents?
I shared it with my mum. My brother was away at university, so I didn't share it with him, but yeah, definitely shared it with my mum. Then she tried to say, oh, I think I might be dyslexic. I was like, yeah, you possibly could, but yeah. So that was the second year. That was the first year. The second year, yeah, it was the hardest year of my life. So yeah, 2009, my dad passed away in the second year. He passed away in Jamaica, and again, we didn't really have at that time, we didn't have a great relationship because he went to Jamaica for 6 months and came over here, then kept going. So we didn't have a great relationship. And so yeah, we found out Dad passed away in Jamaica, so we had to go to Jamaica, and I missed a lot of time at university. So I come back now. They said, "Oh, don't worry about it. Just carry on with year two. We'll sort that out." It's like, cool. So I finished year two, went to year three. End of year three, thinking, "Yep, I'm gonna graduate." Waiting for my letter. Everyone else has got the letter. I was like, "Oh, why haven't I got my letter?" So I get my graduate letter. I was like, open it up. Unfortunately, because of year two, you've missed some criterias. You won't be graduating with your year group. You have to repeat. I was like, what? What? I put my heart and soul that last performance, and now you're telling me I have to go back to year two to do some. I was like, you know what?
How does that feel?
Yeah, it felt like a kick in the teeth. Because my brother, he went to university, but he didn't finish because he realized it wasn't for him. So I was like, I don't really, no, I don't want to. Like, I thought I finished, like, I don't really want to do this. But then I spoke to my mum, and I could see it in her eyes that she really wanted me to do this. Like, one of her sons to finish university. I was like, you know what? What's a year out of my life? I'm working, what's a year? So I went back to Greenwich, done year two. I think halfway through year two now. I'm trying to hand in my essays, but it's bouncing back. I was like, what's going on? There's like, oh no, it says you're not registered on the course. I was like, but I'm in lectures, like my card still works. Like I'm here. Like, no, go to the finance office. I was like, oh cool. So I went to the finance office, and they said, yeah, your student loan kind of got rejected. I was like, what? Why? It's like, oh, pretty much you kind of done university too many times, and you can only get student loan a certain amount of times. I was like, so what does that mean? It's like, oh, well, you're gonna have to pay for the course. I was like, how much is the course? It's like, oh yeah, over $2.5 grand. I was like, I work part time. It's only my mum. I can't get $2 grand. Like, I was like, yeah, F this. I was like, nah, cool, forget it. Went home. I was like, Mum, I tried. It's not gonna work. She's like, no, you're close, son. Like, you can do this. I was like, where am I supposed to get $2 grand from? She goes, oh, you've got some savings. I was like, Mum, like, she goes, use your savings. I was like, you know what? Cool. Went back to the finance people. It's like, cool. Then I spoke to my tutor. They said, okay, paying the course, that's fine. You can be on the course, but unfortunately, because you've handed in work so late, the best mark you could probably get is a 2-3. I've never heard 2-3 in my life. Always heard a 1, 2, 2, 2, 1. I've never heard of a 2-3. I was like, what? A 2-3? So I went back to my mum. I was like, Mum, forget it. Oh, I'm not doing this. Like, everything's against me. Like, Mum, I can't do this. She's like, do you want this? I was like, yeah, but everything's against you, Mum. It's like, you've got this. You can do this. I was like, all right, cool. So I swear to you, not a good 4 months of my life, university, home, work. I grinded. I grinded so much that I got a 2-2 in the end. And
Come on.
For me, like, when I got the letter, told my mum, she was amazed. I had a girlfriend at the time, well, my wife then, I told her about it, she was amazed. Told my brother, but my brother went traveling. So yeah, went to the graduation, and when they called my name, I was like, I was amazed. I was like, I did it. Like, I didn't do it just for myself, I done it for my mum, and I done it for my brother. I was like, yeah, I've done this. Then I was like, what's next? So at the time I was working at a car from warehouse. So
On that though,
yeah,
that graduation, when they call your name and you go up and you receive your certificate and they hand it over to you.
yeah.
When you think back to that, how does that play back in your head? What were you kind of feeling? What were you thinking at that point in time?
So my feelings was like, I could do anything I want if I put my mind to it. I could do anything, like no matter what, I could do anything. So what I actually did is I went back to my old university, South Bank, and saw the teacher. I was like, when I tutor at the time, I was like, oh, guess what?
Is this the negative tutor?
The
that
negative
was...
teacher. I was like, oh, guess what? I'm dyslexic. He's like, oh yeah, I thought that reading your essay. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I thought that. I thought you would have known. I was like, didn't show you my diploma. He's like, oh, So I said to him, the words you're looking for is congratulations. I popped off. And for me, that was a victory. I was like, yeah. So university's finished, working at Carrefour Warehouse, but at this time I'm doing well at Carrefour Warehouse. So well, like I'm like assistant manager. Like I know the shop. Like I was like, could I do this? Like I could be manager. So I'm doing well, but there was no progression at my shop. So I was like, what am I gonna do? Then an old friend of mine at college hollered at me. He said, oh, do you still dance? I was like, not really. I rave, but I don't really dance. Because no, but I remember you back in college, like you was good. Like, would you do it like after school? I was like, what do you mean after school? I was like, yeah, like do some teaching after school. I was like, teaching who? Like teaching who? Like teaching kids, man. In primary school, I was like, me. He's like, yeah, I think you got it. I was like, okay. So I had to do a little audition. I think there was like 4 of us, and I remember going there. There's just one song, some Kid Cudi song I've never heard in my life, but it was on my phone. It's playing. I was like, ooh, I like this song. So we had to do, I think 2 choreographies. I didn't do choreography. I just freestyle. So they done a choreography. I had to learn it and then teach it back to. So I've done that, and then there's like, and now it's your own piece. I was like, I didn't have nothing. So again, flicked on the song, closed my eyes and did what I did. They loved it. I was like, yeah, you've got it. Like, you've got that personality. Like, we want you. I was like, cool. So I taught, done after school club, drama, dance, and then worked at Carrefour Warehouse. So I was like, going back and forth. And then I get a call from an agency. It's like, oh yeah, we've seen your CV online. Like, was wondering if you're looking for work. I was like, yeah, I'm looking for work. It's like, oh yeah, would you working in a school? I was like, okay, yeah, I've done some after school stuff. Like, no, as a LSA. I was like, what's a LSA? It's like, oh, a learning support assistant. I was like, what is a learning support assistant? A TA, a teacher assistant? Oh yeah. I've heard of a teacher assistant. So I was like, okay. It's like, oh yeah, sign the paperwork and we'll find your school. And it, like flexible hours. I was like, okay, cool, yeah. So remember, I haven't been back to school I haven't been in school in years. So I was like, okay, so they found me a school in Greenwich. They only had a 1-year take, so it was year 8. So I went there, being me, and interacting with the kids. Then the interview came now. I was like, done well in the interview, but they started to ask me safeguarding questions. I don't know nothing about safeguarding, so I'm just answering the questions as normal, as I would.
Yeah.
It's like, unfortunately, can't offer you the job. I was like, okay, cool. But they gave me the feedback. It's like, oh yeah, the safeguarding and stuff. Like, you need to brush up on that. I was like, still doing my thing. Then I get another phone call, like, got an interview for the next week. I was like, okay. It's like, oh, there's a school, a secondary school, mainstream, in northwest London. I was like, ooh, whereabouts? It said South Kilburn. I was like, it's like, no, on the train it's like 45 minutes. I was like, okay, cool. So I went there. It wasn't really an interview. There's like, oh, we just want you to go into class, interact with the kids, and we'll talk to you afterwards. So I was like, cool. Went into class, spoke to one kid. I still remember him. His name was Mohammed. He's like, oh, sir. Where you from? I was like, country area. Country. I was like, oh, Jamaica. He goes, oh, Jamaica. Like, Wagwan. I was like, yeah, but ain't you supposed to be doing your work? Get on with your work then, innit? It's like, cool, sir. So then I went to have lunch, but I didn't realise that he was targeted. He was supposed to do something like that to me. I didn't know. And the woman was like, oh, so how did you find it? I was like, yeah, I found it right. She goes, oh, would you work here? And I was like, yeah. I love it. He goes, okay, cool. Start in September. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, you start in September. I was like, cool. And the good thing about the school was they even paid me a little bit more. I was like, wow, I feel valued. So the reason why I'm talking about the school is because, again, I was supposed to be a TA, but in that last year of being a temporary contract, on my temporary contract, the drama teacher asked me, "Oh, I heard that you studied drama at university." I was like, "Yeah." There's like, "Oh, well, I'm overrun, and there's a year 7 class that's not really being taught drama. They've just been in a classroom, wondering if you mind teaching them." I was like, "Me?" Like, yeah. I'll give you the work, but you just do what you can. I was like, "Okay, cool. What class?" They said, "Oh, it's a small class, just a small class." I was like, "What class?" So it was a nurture class. It was kids that had SEN needs. I was like, "You want me, not a qualified teacher, haven't taught before, you want me to teach these SEN kids drama?" Some of them one didn't speak, was a selective mute. One had ADHD, and yeah, it was, "You want me to teach them?" It's like, yeah. If it gets bad, just call for help. I was like, okay, cool.
It sounds like a movie.
It was, but so the work he gave me, I tried to teach them. They couldn't get it. But luckily, as I was a TA, I was in some of their classes, so I kind of picked up stuff what they did know. So I was like, I went to the head of drama. I was like, "Do you mind me if I tweaked the lessons?" He's like, "Do what you need to do." So I was like, "All right, cool." So I did what I got taught when I was doing one of my first performances. Ask them questions, what they like, what they know. So asked some questions, gave them little scenarios. Then I realized a lot of them knew the fairy tales. I was like, bingo. I was like, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna reenact the Three Little Pigs. They was like, what, sir? I was like, yeah, we're gonna reenact it, but you lot are gonna have your own little twist, own little characters, your own little phrases and stuff like that. So we worked on that for like 6 weeks, and I asked their teachers to come and their tutors to come. They performed it, and I got the same buzz from me being on the stage. I got that same buzz. I was like, oh, what's happened here? Like the shift was like, I was like, is this a next thing I'm gonna go into? So I did that. I was like, I could see me doing this. I could see me teaching.
You went from performing with the theatres in Wimbledon, the groups there.
Yeah.
Now you're teaching students. Was there a particular process or time period where you felt that you weren't going to pursue acting yourself, and then teaching might have?
Yeah, sorry about that. So I think for me it was at Carphone Warehouse, being a manager. I spoke to one of my friends who left college early to pursue his acting career, because he got a leg up in the whole industry. I was like, okay, cool. So I spoke to him, and he's like, yeah, at the moment I'm just working in the pub. I was like, but you was on TV just the other day. Like, yeah, and bro, it's hard. I was like, and then I realized it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I didn't really have no one. I was like, so I was going to auditions, and I was getting, oh, sorry, no. And yeah, for me personally, I got tired of the rejections, and then knowing that he's been in stuff and he's still getting certain rejections as well, and now he has to, like, we're adults now, we have to survive. So he's working in the pub. I was like, yeah, I don't know if I could do that. And then knowing that I got that same buzz for teaching, I was like, thank the Lord, like, I can see myself doing this. So yeah, so I taught my first, I say first year there, and then after that, the drama teachers kept giving me more classes, and then I worked with a year 9 class all the way up to year 11. And why that's so significant is because there's this one boy called Shanu, like, I saw myself in him, like joking around. I saw myself, and I was like, you know what? You're my one person. I'm gonna make sure you do well in school. Like, I've got your back. So work with him. Like, I forgot to say, even when I first started, as a temp, I came in on the weekends to help that particular drama class. I wasn't getting paid for it. And it's like, so, like, why are you doing this? You're not getting paid. Like, I was like, because I'm passionate about drama. Like, drama's my thing. It's like, oh. So yeah, earned his respect. Earned loads of people's respect, and then earned the drama's guys' respect. So yeah, as I said, got more classes. So in my 4th year teaching, I had a year 7 class, I had year 8 classes, I had year 9 classes, and I had a year 10 class. I was doing it, and then that particular year, drama fell off. So the head of drama's like, you know what, we kind of don't need you anymore because we've got enough. I've got enough classes, I can handle it. I was like, okay, cool. I felt down. I was like, okay, so what am I supposed to do now? Then again, that same year 9 boy, he's gone into 6th form now. He's like, oh, sir, I know you're not my teacher no more, and I know I'm in 6th form, but can you still be there for that? Can you be my mentor? I was like, what does a mentor do? He's like, I come to you and we talk and you help me out. I was like, yeah, I can do that. So I done that for him, and then I done it for other people, other students. But then I realized I'm good with behavior. So,
and this is how you kind of got into your career, right?
This is how I got into my career. So I was like,
cool.
I had a way of talking to students, and they understanding me, and they listened and knew that, yo, you care. Like, you care about us. You care about me. And yeah.
Just on that, so outlining what you currently do within your career now.
Yeah.
What's your role? How does that fit into?
So at the moment, I'm a year manager at a secondary school, and I've always said, when I first started working in the school, I've always known that I've done most of the things in school. So I've been a TA, so I've been support. I've taught, and going back to my experience as a student as well, like, I've covered a lot of places, and I realized that I feel I can make the most impact as a pastoral person, a head of year or year manager. So I've just used my experiences, and it's kind of, I've realized that I've been through a lot and I've learned a lot. A certain person doesn't have to go through what I go through, and I just want a student to believe that they can do anything they want as long as they put their mind to it. So that's always stuck with me, and I thought, you know what? I personally feel that's my purpose, to help and support and just to make a young person get the best out of their life as they could. And so far, yeah, I feel that's me. That's why at the moment, that's why I do what I do. So as I said, I'm a year manager. It's not a school I would have thought I'd be in, but again, it's teaching me a lot. Like, it doesn't matter black, white, Asian, it doesn't matter what color you are, I can still get to you. I will still find a connection, and I will still give you 100% of, you know what, I believe in you, and I'm not letting that go. I'm not gonna stop until either you tell me to, sir, go away, or when you give up, that's when I give up. Because if you're not gonna bother, why should I? So, but if I still just see that spark in you, I want to keep going. I'm gonna be there. Like, yeah, that's just me, really. So yeah.
And life being the way that it is, you get two sides of the coin. So you do get some of the kids that give up, and they give up on themselves and all the rest of it, and you get some of the kids that make the turnaround, they thrive and they do well for themselves.
Yeah.
For you, what's one of the more memorable moments within your career where you've seen a child go from having behavioural issues, and then you've engaged with them and then seen them develop?
So I've got a few of them. Again, the year 9 student, Shanu, I worked with him so much that it became like obviously he finished school, so he's now becoming an adult. I still kept in contact with him, contact with mum as well, and it became more than just a staff member and a student. We became like a family. Like we became like, so obviously he went to university. I'm still helping him out, but our bond was so strong that I invited him and his other friend to my wedding reception. And then from that, he done so well. Like again, he was in EastEnders. He's in films and stuff like that. And then, like literally, like a month ago, in the cinema, advert pops up. It's him. I'm like, huh? What? So I just took a picture and was like, bro. He's like, bro. So I met up with him and my other friend, of his other friends, for my birthday. So we just met up, and again, he's still thanking me. I was like, you don't need to thank me. Like, you're the reason why I do what I do. Like, I speak to kids all the time. Like, you're very key in my life, because I now go to every school I go to, I talk about you. I talk about my other ex-students that are now part of my life. Like, and I keep telling students, like, when I'm in your life, I'm in your life for good until you tell me to go away. And yeah, so there's him, and there's most recently a boy called, well, I can't name his name because he's still in school, but I saw the potential in him, but I heard about him before I even met him. So at the moment when I got to the school, he was excluded for quite a long time. So I got told, I need to work with him. I was like, okay, cool. He was a bit iffy with me. He's like, I'm not too sure about you. I was like, all right, cool. I just told him, listen, I don't care what you've done in the past. I care about the future and now. He's like, all right, cool. So I just kept letting him know, whatever you need, within reason, I'm here for you. He's like, okay. So then year 9, he had some bad news. So family members died, but remember there was COVID as well. So I thought, I'll see him when COVID comes back, like when everything's back to normal. Nope, his head of year contacted me. I was working from home and said, oh yeah, can you, like this, he really wants to talk to you. I was like, cool. So I've done a little Teams call to him. Just told him, listen, like, I know you're going through stuff now, but I'm telling you, things will get a lot easier. If you need to do this more, like, again, we can do this. So yeah, come back to school now. End of year, coming up to end of year 9, starting year 10.
This is after COVID now. You're back in school.
We're back in school now.
Yeah.
He's been a bit iffy. I was like, what's going on?
When you say iffy, just acting up in...
just quiet, not coming to see me, I knew something was up. So I was like, you know what? In the morning, come talk to me, like, what's going on? And he said, he's just open. He's like, sir, I'm finding it hard. I don't know what to do. I don't know whether to be on the street or do this education. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I've seen close friends, family members die from the road. Like, I don't know what to do. I think I'm in too deep. Like, I don't know what to do. So again, me being me, I told him I'm not a teacher. I'm going to speak to you. If I was speaking to one of my nephews, or I'm going to speak to you as real as I can. So I was like, listen, I said, if you're going to do the road, be the best at it. Be smart with it. Do what you need to do to make your way off so you don't have to be on the road. Let the road work for you. I said, if not, do the education, but make sure you're in education. Forget that road life, forget that road name, like, do education. Like, you're smart, you're talented, there's something you must love to do, like, you can do that. I'm behind you, I know your parents are behind you, like, you can do this, you just need to choose which one. So he said, you know what, sir? I'm gonna choose education, because then I told him about all my life, how I was at school until now, my dyslexia, all my barriers and my hurdles I had to go through. I told him that I was open with him. So he chose education. I was like, okay, cool. So in year 10, we had something called behavior points. Like, there was like tier 1 to tier 5, and he's on tier 3, my tier. I was like, you're new year 10 now, GCSE's like, what are you gonna do? He's like, sir, no, I'm focused this year. I'm focused, I'm all about education. I was like, oh, but you've got to have an outlet as well. Like, what do you like to do? He's like, oh, so I like to box as well. I was like, cool. And he likes to play football. I was like, all right, cool. These are stuff we're gonna focus on. You're gonna see me at least twice a week. Let's go. Year 10, no, so it's September to December. His behavior points, he didn't get no behavior points. I was like, oh.
And during this time, he's kind of putting his time and effort into the outlets as well as education. So he's playing football, he's doing the boxing.
Yeah. No behavior points. I told his head of year, oh, can we just not drop him down a tier, down to tier? You're not supposed to do that. I was like, no, miss. I think he's done so well. Let's drop him down a tier. She goes, yep, she agreed. So he dropped down to tier 2. So from December all the way to July now, still no negative points, no behavior points. But so he come to me in July, so sir, in assembly, I've got loads of awards. But I knew already, because a couple of awards I put his name through, and other teachers saw the good in him, the change in him. I was like, I already know, but thank you for letting me know. So in year 11 now, I asked the head of year again. I was like, can we drop him down again? And she goes, you do what you need to do. So I dropped him down to tier 1 with 0 points. So from September, I left in December, still no negative points. So I was like, okay, cool. So he took up boxing, and he done certain boxings outside of school, but I missed one because he didn't let me know. I was like, you know what, your next fight, I'm coming to it. He's like, so it's on a weekend. I was like, I'm coming to it. Unfortunately, the fight was all the way in Hayes. So he said, oh, sir, it's all the way in Hayes. I don't expect you to come. I was like, I'm coming. He's like, okay, well, I'll see you on Monday. I was like, cool. I went to Hayes. I was at the front. I saved seats for his family to come as well. So I was at the front, and he done his thing. He won his fight, and he thanked me. He's like, sir, thank you for coming. I was like, no. I told you from way back, I'm in your life for good. That's when he realized I'm telling the truth. Like, when I say something, I mean it. So yeah, got a little picture of me and him. And that picture went up in the school PE department. But I didn't know. He told me, he's like, sir, our picture's on the wall. I was like, what picture? Of the box. And I was like, what? It's there. I was like, he's like, oh, okay, cool, thank you, sir. I'm like, no, thank you. And then one of the saddest times of me, I got a new job as a year manager. Like, that's my path. I knew my path. I wanted to be
within a different school.
A different school.
Okay.
Didn't mind telling colleagues. Like, colleagues happily telling them like, oh yep, leaving. I had to tell just one student, but I told him I promised I wouldn't leave until he finished year 11. So I said, listen, after school, I was like, I've got some bad news for you. He goes, oh, what, sir? He goes, oh, I'm leaving. And if you saw his face, like, I had told him about the tears. I was like, he's like, what do you mean, sir? You said you're going to be here until I finish. I was like, listen, I tried, but this opportunity came up. I had to take it. He's like, okay, sir. So I didn't get to speak to him for a few days. He came back and was like, you know what, sir? You got to do what you got to do. I was like, yeah. I was like, listen, this ain't the end for us. You got to fight in a couple of weeks' time. I'm coming to that. Like, I'm in your life. Like, whatever. Like, okay, sir. So, yeah, got a new job, finished the school. But on my last day, he's been a little iffy. He's been iffy. I was like, what's going on? I was like, sir, I got you a gift, but it's not coming. It's not coming yet. I was like, don't worry, I'm going to see you on Saturday. Don't worry about it. He's like, no, sir. I want to give you this gift. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So in my old job, I ran detention. So detention was like 3 till 4. Bear in mind, he didn't have the detention, but he's in detention. I was like, go home, go home. He's like, nah, sir, I'm staying. So he stayed in all the way until like 10 past 4. He got his mum brought the present all the way down, gave it to him to give it to me. I was like, oh, you didn't have to get me nothing. Like, he's like, no, sir, I want you to get this. So he got me a personalized card of the same picture we took at the boxing match, and he got me a mug of us on it. And it says, oh, thanks for everything, uncle. I was like, oh.
You got to that point in life.
I was like, whew. So with that, I brought it to my new job. Obviously, I'm still in contact with him. He's got a fight on the 25th I'm going to go to as well. So I bought that same cup. Year manager, like one of the roles I've always wanted. Got my little office now. Put the cup right there. So when students come in, they're like, so, is that your son? I was like, nah. So who's that? So I was like, that's my ex-student. They're like, what? Open talk is the way of talking to them. I was like, yeah. I'm in his life. Like, he's not just a student to me. Like, he's family now. And then they're like, what? That's not right. I was like, might not be right, but that's the sort of person I am. Like, if I see something in you, I'm not letting go. And for me, yeah, it's those odd moments that I'm like, it's so worth it. It's so worth it. And obviously, we don't always get it right, but most of the times I'm getting it right. So, yeah.
Yeah. I was going to ask about times when it hasn't gone so right, and then kids kind of let themselves down, or I don't know. But I feel like after that conversation,
No, we can. 'Cause I've got one. There's got one from my first school when I used to be, call it a TA, and I was this boy's learning. I was learning it from day dot. Like he would come to me from year 7 to year 11. I gave him like so much time. And then it got to obviously I've been in that school, I was in that school for like 6 years. So when he came, it was like 3rd year in. So when it came to year 10, I'm just, like, I know stuff, like I know how everything's gonna plan out. So with him though, I had stuff set up for him already. So when he got to end of year 9, I was like, oh, what courses do you want to do for GCSE? He's like, I want to do this. I was like, cool. What do you want to go to? Sixth form or college? He's like, college. I was like, cool. So when he came back in year 10, I had a list of colleges for him, a list of courses that I think he might be interested in, and some apprenticeships. I was like, go look at this with with your mum, get back to me, we'll start doing applications. Let's start from early. He's like, okay, sir. I was always chasing him. That was year 10. I was like, all right, cool. Then, because he said he wanted to do cricket, I was like, cool. But then coming to year 11, that changed. He wanted to be a chef. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, we need to start applying now. I've narrowed it down to like even colleges close to where you live. These are the courses that you can do with your potential grades. All you've got to do is fill out the application. I'll even come to the email, like, just need to put some stuff in, like, fill out the applications. Didn't fill out the applications. I was like, all right, cool. He was like, sir, I didn't fill out the application. I don't think I want to go to college no more. I want to do apprenticeships. I was like, cool. Found apprenticeships close to him, ones that he could get based on his grades. I was like, here's the apprenticeships. All you need to do is phone them. Okay, so I will. I'll do it with my mum. Didn't phone them. I was like, okay. So that was September to December. After December, students are supposed to go to revision classes. I was like, you need to start going to revision classes because obviously what you're doing in class is not enough. You need to revise. Yeah, so whatever. So I was like, if you don't want to go to revision classes, come to me because I used to do library duty after school. And loads of year 11s would come and revise. I was like, just come down there, like, we can do it together. Okay, so I'm coming. Never came. I was like, okay. Got to Easter, where most of applications have like gone through. I was like, have you done the application? Oh, no, sir. I was like,
did he ever tell you why he never did them?
no. So I spoke to her. I even spoke to home. I was like, Mum, is everything okay at home? She's like, I tell him every day what you planning to do after school, after you finish school. Like you need a plan. Like I know you'll grow with Mr. Green. Like, have you done a plan? He's like, yeah. So yeah, Sir's dealing with it. I spoke to him. I was like, Mum, I've given him all the information. All he needs to do is fill out the application with you. She goes, okay. Can you send it to me? Send it to her. They done the application. He just never brought it in. Never. Oh, sorry, I'll bring it in tomorrow. Bring it in tomorrow. Never brought it in. I was like, okay. So we had to have a review meeting about him. And he thought, I'm his guy. I'm just gonna back him. Nope. I sang. I was like, listen, he don't come to reviewing classes. He don't make notes. I'm still waiting for applications. I laid it off to his mum and everyone in the room. They just looked at him like, so what are you planning to do? I'm going to change. I'm going to do what I need to do. I was like, all right, cool. So made a phone call to apprenticeships. All he had to do was go. I did a little interview. What's all he had to do? Oh, I can't come. I can't come. Why can't you go? Oh, I ain't got no money on the oyster. Okay, cool. We had a school oyster. There you go. You can go. Oh, no, but my mum don't know. Cool. Mum, can you go to this little interview? Yeah, of course you can. I don't know where I'm going. You go to that bus stop. You get off at that bus stop. You walk there. Oh, no, sir. Cool. I'll go with you. Oh, sir, but it's after school. It's like 5:30. Doesn't matter about. Let's go. He would leave when school finishes 3:20. He would leave. He don't just leave, so I can't go with him. I was like, okay, cool. And throughout that's when I was like, you know what? I've done a hell of a lot for this boy. He's not learning. He don't care. So I took a step back. So I was like, listen. Like, I told him after school, I was like, come in here. I was like, listen, I've done all this for you since year 10. I've done all this for you. All you had to do was a little effort. That's all I wanted from you. Little effort. Why? I'm sorry. No, why? I don't know. So I was like, all right, cool. You know what? What's going to happen? I'm not saying I'm done with you, but I'm backing off. If you want me, you come find me. You come for my help. You ask for my help. He never asked for my help. I was like, cool. So I just said, before he started these GCSEs, I was like, listen, I'm not always going to be here. Once you leave here, you're kind of on your own. So if you don't want to start worrying about your future now, I wish you nothing but luck. But I'm just letting you know, I'm not always going to be here. So he's done his GCSEs. Results day comes. I'm at the school, as I normally do at August time. He's completely flopped his GCSEs. I was like, okay, what's your plans now? I didn't give up on him. I still had a backup. So I found a college that would take him. He just needed to go there. I was like, listen, with your grades, just go to the college, let them see your grades, sign up to the course, and you're good. Do you think he did it?
I don't even want to answer.
He didn't do it.
He didn't go?
He didn't go. I was distraught. I was like, wow, because everyone in that school knew how much time I put into this one student. He didn't go. So the following year, I left. I went to a different school. But I heard I had still colleagues at that school. I heard he came back to the school asking for me, like, oh, sir, I need sir's help. And they just said, Mr. Green don't work here no more. And I heard that, yeah, he was distraught. I was like, I tried, but you can only help if they want the help. So yeah, that was a time where I felt, yeah, it didn't work. But yeah.
Is that the last you've heard about him? Have you heard anything?
No, yeah, that's the last time I heard that he didn't go to that college, so he had to start the following September. And then I heard through that time he was just working with his auntie in a restaurant. So I was like, cool, he's still doing his thing, but yeah, that's the last I've heard from him. Yeah, It's been years now.
It's interesting, man, because there's that saying, you can bring the horse to the water,
You can't get them to drink it.
and this is it.
Yeah.
So yeah, the proof's in the pudding, man. You mentioned previously that you and your wife have been together since, was it university or after university?
Yeah, you know, university. Well, yeah, we tried at university, then didn't work out, and then when we found
Sounds
ourselves,
like a story.
Yeah, when we found ourselves. So yeah, so I met her through raving. Me and my friend, my close friend, my best friend, went to a rave.
Who approached who?
So it's so weird. So she has her story, but I have it's the story. So I went to the bar. I bought myself a bottle and a drink. You know, but again, remember I used to rave, so I knew how to maneuver in a club. So I used to have it out like this. So I just brought it, turned around, took one step. She spilled. My drink spilled. So I looked at her, I was like,
Spilt on who? You?
on me, yeah, spilled on me. I was like, well, you spilled my drink, you're not even going to say sorry. So she looks at me, I look at her. All she said was, save me a dance. And bumps off. I was like, I'm like mad. I'm like, I just spent £27 on this drink. You spilled it. You haven't even said sorry. I'm raging. Gone to my best friend. Like, bro, this girl, like, spilled my drink. Didn't even say sorry. So what did she say? She just said, "Oh, sing me a dance." Like, what is that? Night goes on. That same girl, I see speaking to my best friend. I was like, that's the girl. He's like, oh, no, that's my homie. I was like, what, you two? He's like, yeah. So there, in her eyes, my best friend is her best friend. I was like, what? He's like, no, you spilled my drink. But anyway, we had our little dance. Night ended, and then she went. So I said to my best friend, I need her number. So got the number, started talking, met up. All good. Then we started talking. Her grandparents knew my grandma. So her grandparents...
She's from the Caribbean as well?
Yeah, she's from Barbados.
Small place.
Yep.
Everyone knows everyone.
So her grandparents knew about me already, knows my mom, knows my brother, like, knows my aunts. Like, so I was already in with her grandparents. So yeah, we're getting close, and then I wasn't really on relationships. I'm still raving this time. Like, I didn't want to be tied down. And then she wasn't getting the hint, so I was rude to her. I was like, you know what, I don't like you. Like, F off. Like, we're done. Like, F off. She was hurt. We're in our separate ways, and then I was in a relationship. She was in a relationship, but
how long was that into the dating period?
So we dated for like 9 months. Then it ended. Then we didn't see each other for like a year and a bit, and then yeah, she hollered my best friend, got my number. Then we met up, started talking. I just told her, listen, I was young and dumb then. And she was like, yeah, I wasn't really, yeah. Then we just started talking, started hanging out with each other, went on dates. Then it was like we're always together, so we might as well just be official. So official, then we went on holiday, and never done that with a girl before. Like, went on holiday with her. I was like, well, I can't be without you. Like, I need to see you. Like, I always need to see you. Then he's like, so why don't we move in with each other? So yeah, after a year, we moved in with each other. Then we lived together for like, what, 2 or 3 years. Then I proposed on her birthday.
How did that look?
So she was always hinting. Hinting. I was like, whatever, I'm not getting married. I'm not the married type. Because again, my parents weren't married, so I knew marriage wasn't for me. But I picked up the hints. I got hold of her older brother's friend who I knew did jewelry. So he sorted me out with a good deal. So we went round to my other close friend's house on Boxing Day. Her birthday was on Boxing Day. And I was like, oh, the ring box is bulky. So I put it in a glove. She's like, wait, why are you going back to the house? Oh no, I forgot my gloves. So I went back to get my gloves, but not knowing that I put the ring box in the glove, hid it. But I'm like, how am I supposed to do this? So finished our Boxing Day dinner. just sitting around. So I was like, you know what? Let's go around each other and just say, oh, what we're thankful for. Like, so everyone went around, oh, I'm thankful for this, I'm thankful for that. So it came back to me. I was like, oh, I'm thankful for everyone being here. Like, this means a lot. But there's this one person that means a lot to me. Then I went down on one knee, got the glove out. Everyone's like, oh, why have you got a glove? Took the glove off. I was like, will you marry me? Her words were, what? I was like, what do you mean? Like, whatever. I was like, no, I'm being deadly serious. And she's like, of course I'm. I was like, cool. I was like, phew. But my brother was shocked because again, I didn't really talk to. I wasn't very vocal to people. Like, I was very, again, selective, observant. I didn't really talk much. So for him, it took him left. It's like, wow, this came from nowhere. So he took me outside. He said,
It gave you the man speech.
Yeah,
Are you sure you want to do this?
Yeah, he's like, where did this come from? Like, are you sure? Did she press you? Like, I know you, like, where did this come from? I was like, I just knew. So yeah, went to look for a venue, found a venue, put the deposit down, and then the next day, found out she was pregnant. But before that, let me reverse. So again, we were together for like 2-3 years. Kids, like always say we wanted kids. So I'm not gonna lie, I was a bad boy. So I had a few mistakes. I was like, cool, kids, I know I can produce a kid, like. But every month, no, negative notes. So I was like, right, no, it must be you because I've had my scares.
At this point, were you actively trying?
Yeah, we're actively trying. I'm like, no, man, no. I know I'm good. I've had the scares. That I'm good. So she got tested now. She's like, no, she's absolutely fine. I was like, it can't be me. Like, it can't be. So I went and got tested. They checked my sperm. It's like, oh, you've got a low sperm count. You pretty much, you won't have kids. Like, you won't be able to produce kids. I was like, what? So I remember telling the missus that, and she done research, I done research, so I changed my whole diet. And then we was like, you know what? We kept trying, it wasn't happening. It was like, it wasn't even fun no more. It came like a job. It was like, it was work to be intimate, and it wasn't enjoyable no more. So we just both said, like, listen, let's just carry on with our lives. Like, let's just forget it. So I was like, so that's what I proposed. We're living now. We're just living happy. And then found out we was pregnant. So I was like, wow. So what I did was I phoned my brother and my best friend. I said, oh yeah, to my best friend, meet at my mum's house. So I've gone to my mum's house and I told them the news, like, oh yeah, I went to the doctors, I got tested, I've got low sperm count, I'm not able to make kids. My best friend, my best friend had his child young, and he knows I've always wanted a kid. My best friend, like, started crying. He's like, no man, like, you're the one person who deserve to have a kid. Then my brother was quiet. He's like, so what? Like, remember, science said, like, doctor said you can't, but there's other ways. So it was going on, let them go. I was like, oh, well, bam, pregnant. Then, yeah, they give me a few beats. And it's like, don't do that to me. So, yeah, they then told them the news that, yeah, we're going to have a child. And so
what does that feel like then? Because
for me, again,
it's complete opposite end of the spectrum. No, you can't have kids. To, babe, I'm pregnant.
For me, it's someone telling me no, someone putting a hurdle in front of me saying, no, you can't. And again, from that university, when I got told I got dyslexia and knowing that I got the tutu, I was like, nothing can stop me. I was like, no, I know I'm having a child. Like, I even said, if I can't have it, like, no more, I'll adopt. Like, I knew I was gonna have a child. So then the higher power. But yeah, I knew. I was like, I'm having a child. So it didn't really bother me because I knew. So yeah, it didn't really bother me. So yeah.
That's some serious belief.
Yeah, no.
Because a lot of people would crumble. Because honestly, if I had heard that news, I don't know how I would take it. It'd be difficult to process. So no credit to that, man.
No, it was tough, but again, I always knew there was still adoption, but deep down, I knew, nah, man, I can have a kid. Like I know this, but it was just someone telling me, no, you need to change kind of a little bit of what you eat and stuff like that, be more healthy, and then and not putting so much pressure on each other. Like we need to have a kid, we need to have a kid. Let that go, and then we just we just let stuff go. Like don't put so much pressure on ourselves, and then
definitely. Fast forward then the 9 months, the idea of having a kid and being a parent now becomes a reality. You go through childbirth. Were you at the birth?
Yeah, so the
an
birth
experience in itself.
Yeah, it was, because again she had to get in. So the baby was really, really small, so there was problems. So we had to go into hospital early. So I took my paternity leave early because they said on Wednesday, oh yeah, you need to come in on the Saturday because we need to get the baby out. So it's like, cool. So on that Friday.
Was this premature?
Yeah, she's premature. I can't remember how many weeks. I think she was like 6 weeks premature.
Okay.
But I had to tell my work, obviously I have to start my paternity now. So from that Friday my paternity started. I thought on the Saturday, baby's gonna be here. That wasn't the case. So went in on the Saturday, Sunday induced, nothing happened. Sunday, nothing. Monday, nothing. Tuesday, nothing. And I'm like, no, we're getting tired. Like, she is tired. I'm annoyed. But I remember her words. She says, oh, don't let them give me the epidural, the injection. I don't want that. I was like, babes, I've got you. So she's had every drug, like induced 3 times, everything. She's had everything. And they're like, listen, nothing, like you're still not fully dilated yet. Like the only next step is like you're so tight, we have to give you the epidural. I went, nope, not my missus. Ain't happening. You ain't sticking nothing in her. She's like, babes. I was like, no, ain't happening. You lot, come out. We can do that. Then she just started crying. It's like, babes, I'm so tired. Like, I need this. I was like, no, babes, I promise you said you don't want it. It's like, babes, I know, but I need it. So I had to leave the hospital for a little bit, compose myself, go back. I was like, whatever you need, I'm here for you. So they gave her the epidural. Went to sleep. Then the next morning, baby came. But again, I've watched loads of films. Her name's Naya. So Naya came out and she didn't cry. So I looked at my Mrs. Best friend. She came. I looked at her. She looked at me, and she reached over. No, everything's fine. But I know not. It's not fine. Like she's not crying. Like something's up. Then they take her away. And then Tutu's, I hear the cry. I was like,
you can breathe.
Thank the Lord. But again, she was what, 4'7". So she was, she was tiny, like tiny.
Oh, your hand tiny.
But again, for me, best time of my life. Like it was unbelievable. Because again, people telling me I can't have kids, I won't be able to have kids. My child's here, and it changed me. I was like, this is the most important thing in my life now. Like I'm here for that child, and I think all the love that I wanted, I'm gonna give this child. All the stuff that I would want my parents to tell me or teach me, she's gonna have everything. So yeah.
That actually brings up an important point, because being a parent myself, I find myself with certain habits and certain traits that I sometimes check myself on and have to realize where they come from.
Yeah.
So one of the questions I wanted to ask you around that was, are there any particular lessons and things that you've learned from your parents that you do with your kids?
100%.
Or on the flip side of that, lessons that you've learned not to do with your kids?
So for me, the one thing I've learned is to talk to my child. Because again, when I was younger, my parents didn't talk. No one talked to my household. So I was like, you know what? I'm talking to my child. So I know I've got the temper of my dad. Like I'm very quick with it. So I'll tell her, especially when my oldest, I'll tell her off. But when I'm telling her off, obviously she goes away, cries. I then go into her room and I explain to her why I told her off, make sure she's okay, and I won't leave until we've hugged and make sure we're fine, and then I come out. And that's what I've realized. That's one thing I've learned. Like, I'm going to tell you why I've told you off, but I don't want to tell you if I'm only doing this because I have to, but we're still fine. I still want you to confide in me and talk to me. So that's the one thing I've learned, like, just to communicate with my child and like just to let her know, like we get on, like I'm a joke, but I'm not your friend. I'm your parent. Like that's the one thing you need to understand. Like I'm not gonna, if your mom says one thing, I'm not gonna disregard that. Me and your mom are a team, and she knows now we're a team. Like if mommy says no, then it's a no. Don't ask me that same question because I'm gonna get even more annoyed. It's like, no, we're a team and we want the best for you. But yeah, we always just communicate. And for me, communicating is the key to most things, relationships, parenting. Like, I think, yeah, communication, man.
Nice. And on the flip side of that, is there anything that you've learned not to do?
Don't put so much pressure on them. Because again, like, for me, the pressure I had is I wanted to be like my brother. I wanted to be smart as my brother. I wanted to be athletic as my brother. I wanted to be good looking as my brother. I wanted to be like my brother. And then it took a while to realize that, I think for me, it was when I went raving, when I started raving and I got the attention and I got, oh, you can dance, oh, you can dress, oh, you look nice. I realized I don't have to be my brother. I'm me. So but again, looking at my child, obviously I want the best for her. I want her to be the smartest. I want her to have friends. I want her to be popular. I want all of that for her. But then I realized that she's her. She's nice. She's going to be who she wants to be. She's not smart. She's not what. She's still going to be she's going to do well no matter what. Like, or she's going to just be in her lane. Like, let her be her. Like, let her live. And that's what I've realized. That I can't. I'm always going to be on about. I know the potential in her, so I'm always going to kind of push her, but I'm not going to be like how my dad was to me. You have to do this, that. No TV. Go to your room, do work. I'm not going to be like, I'm going to push you, but I know your limits. I know your face when it drops. I'm like, okay, you've had enough. Let's move away from it, not continue until you hate something or you hate my voice I'm just going to be like, you know what? You've done enough now. Let's move on, and just always believe and always tell her that, yeah, no matter what you want, you can do it.
I respect it. And with that first child, it's always a learning curve for us parents. So we learn as we go, right? But then you went and defied the odds a second time. And then had another child.
Yes, little Dano. So yeah,
how did that one come about?
This one was
more of a surprise.
And we thought, yes, it's the boy. So we thought, it's a boy. We had the boy's name. Then we had the scan. My missus, same friend who was in the birth for the first one, she came, done the scan. We was like, oh yeah, it's a boy. It's like, sorry to tell you, it's a girl. We was like, it's a what? It's a girl. I looked at the missus looked at me, missus started crying. I swear to you, we didn't talk for a good 15 minutes. We just sat outside the hospital, we just sat there. My missus' friend was like, it's still a baby, like you still gonna love. I was like, you've got a boy and girl, you don't, we thought it was gonna be a boy, she's acting like a boy, like, it's gonna be. So it took us a while to get our heads around it, but then we started to see the good in it. We was like, oh, it's a girl. We've got still baby stuff from our oldest one. Like, we could save ourselves money. We know what to do with a girl. So then we started to see the good in it, and we got some names. And so with our first child, we didn't have a baby shower. So for this one, we're like, you know what? Let's celebrate. Like, I wasn't even supposed to have one, but now we're gonna have two. No, this one we need to celebrate. So we had a baby shower a joint baby shower, which I've never done. I've never witnessed one before, but yeah, boys and girls came to the baby shower, and then the birth, full length. She was at home. I mean, it was a Sunday. She kept going in pain. I was like, babes, like, you sure you want to go? She's like, nah, it's fine. And then it got so bad. I was like, nah, we need to go. So we went in on Sunday, but this time we was prepared. I had my playlist. She was on the gas and air. And then, yeah, Monday morning came to James Arthur. I can't remember the song now. And then, yeah, came out crying as well. I was like, cool. But then they had to do the ear test. She failed it on the first day. Was like, okay, what's going on? There's like, no, that's fine. Just bring her back out. And a few days later, she came back again. She failed it again. I was like, what's going on? So I started thinking.
So the ear test is when they check to see their hearing,
yeah,
so they can pick up any sound.
So I'm already thinking, oh, what it's gonna be like? We have to learn sign language. How's now gonna? I started thinking all of that, and then gradually, yeah, she was fine. I was like, okay, cool. So a year later, she turns 1. My missus, she used to work with early years, so she knows about babies. And when they're young, I do secondary, so she realised that she was not where she's meant to be at that age. I was like, no, she's just fine. And then,
what age was this? This was around
1.
Okay.
So yeah, she's not. She could walk, but yeah, the speech, nothing. So we're like, what's going on? Then it got to, but yeah, around 18 months, speech is not there. That she'll say daddy and mummy, and that's it. We're like, what's going on? Then we went to, took her to nursery and stuff like that. So she's in nursery, everyone's progressing. Dana is not. So Mrs. like, I think she might be autistic. I was like, what? Nah. I've worked with autism. I know the traits. Like, nah, she can't. She's like, nah, there's something wrong. There's something up with Dana. Like, she's not like talking as, she's not where she should be. And I was like, whatever. But obviously my missus knows because she works. That's her forte. So I was like, okay. So I think when she was year 3, the nursery kind of agreed that yeah, there's something up. So we took her to our GP. She got tested, and they said yeah, she's got speech and language with a trace of autism. So we was like, okay. Then we had to start looking for schools as well. So we're like,
on that, when you get that official diagnosis, obviously it's not you actually going through it, but as a parent, how do you respond to that? How do you react? What's the kind of thought process that you?
So we've got diagnosed, like officially diagnosed on Monday. We got officially.
On Monday just gone.
Yeah, we got officially diagnosed because they just thought it was speech and language with a slight touch of autism. So me reading through it, me speaking to other people, realizing that females hide autism. Well, with autism, they act different to a boy. So in a boy, they've got they'll be on like this. They'll focus on one thing. So it's either, I know the boys I worked at my first school, he loved trains, he loved transport. Like he was fixated on that topic. He would either have a tic, like either that tic or a vocal tic, and yeah, no eye contact, wouldn't talk to, and obviously routine. I was like, my child don't have that, but spoken to people, there's like, yeah, females, they hide it in a different way. So yeah, they mask it so well. So took her to the GP and there's like, yeah, we think she's got a trace. So me and my missus, we just prepared ourselves. So she went to a lot of autism classes with parents, like kids who had autism, and she met with a lady that her daughter has autism. So they was bouncing off each other. Then what she learned, she told me, and I was like, okay. And then I think, yeah, when 3 turning 4, that's when I started to see it. She's fixated on, she has to be the one that pressed the elevator button. She's the one that she has to do certain things. She has to eat a certain way. You can only put the ketchup on one side. She can't. I realized like she's got autism, and then so for me,
with those traits,
yeah.
If she doesn't get to press the elevator button, how does she respond?
She'll like cry, scream, try to attack you, gone like having tantrums. Like at the moment, if I tell her no or stop, her first reaction is to push me. So then I'm like, no, don't push me. And then when she has a meltdown, what I have to do, I have to just hold her real tight and just talk softly, and then she eventually calms down. And yeah, it's just learning those sort of things, like what works with her, what she likes to eat, and then kind of teach that to our older sister. Having a child, it's different, but I'm thankful because again, my missus has worked with kids with autism and works in the younger years, and I've worked with older years, so it's like we've got a nice little balance. So it's not that strenuous on us. We just we kind of know what to do. We kind of know what we're doing now. So yes, it's a blessing that my missus caught it early, and me working in a secondary school, I know it's not the end for her. Like she could still do well in life. Like it's just a different path, right? More different stuff that she'd have to do. Like